What's up, guys? My name is Witty, and I'm not really a prominent Diablo IV content creator, but I'm kind of getting sick of the prominent content creators. There are very, very few of them that are actually good, and when you're looking for a guide for a build you want to try out, 90%, maybe even more, of these videos you're going to find on YouTube are people who built their following on a different game and are simply capitalizing on Diablo 4 being in the spotlight. Most of these builds don't work. They just don't. You'll often find people with the new best rogue build that does 20 million damage per second and is immortal in late nightmare dungeons, and meanwhile they're level 71 running a tier 15 dungeon that's under their level. Of course they're going to one-shot everything. Of course they are. And this goes right along with the guys who think they found the next best method to earn experience after a nerf. Those videos are fake too. The best methods are to run nightmare dungeons that are 3 levels above you. It's that simple. Rinse and repeat. There's no catch. There's no exploit that has a dungeon that's super duper fast anymore. Most of these things are patched, and the ones that haven't been will be. So please, stop listening to all the random trash videos you find on YouTube. And today, we're going to talk about a lot of the dungeons, as well as their nightmare variants, that are actually good, and what they're good for. Wudijo has a list made on a Google document that I will have in the description, and that's where I'm getting most of this information. A lot of you have used max roll for your builds, and yet you refuse to trust Wudijo and decide you want to trust some random content creator with 1 million subscribers from a different game that hasn't even played a Diablo before Diablo 4. And I think that's what, I guess, triggers me to be the most to begin with, is that, you know, these guys are coming from Elden Ring or Destiny or World of Warcraft or some other game, and they don't know what they're talking about. But because they sound like they know what they're talking about, a lot of newer players tend to believe them and fall into this pitfall trap of having a build that is really strong in World Tier 3 when you're 10 levels higher than what you're supposed to be, but really weak in World Tier 4, and falls off quickly when you hit level 65, 70. So, without further ado, we are going to jump into some of the actual best dungeons for experience, glyph experience farming, as well as just the best dungeons if you want to push higher tier content, and last but not least, the best dungeons when you're running with a group. So, let's get started. So, assuming we're not using exploits here, there are quite a few dungeons most people would consider S tier, and when I say most people, I mean people who know what they're talking about. One of these dungeons is the Gulrin Canals, which are right here. I was hovering over the slums for a moment there. That one's better for glyph leveling, not great for XP. However, the Gulrin Canals right here, really, really solid option. If you're just looking to farm XP and reset the dungeon, farm it for an hour or two, whatever the case may be. It takes anywhere from 4 to 5 minutes to complete this dungeon, and it is very, very good for experience. Another option is Onyx Hold, which is right up here, right beside a waypoint conveniently. Onyx Hold is another S tier dungeon for experience that takes right around 5 minutes to complete on average. There are also quite a few in the Hawazar region to the bottom right of the map, and one of the most popular, of course, is Blind Burrows. Blind Burrows is extremely good for experience, pretty good for glyph XP farming, very, very good for pushing high tier, and very, very good for group play. This is a very good map overall. It would not surprise me if it was nerfed or changed in some way, because a lot of people are running this map because of how good it is. Another really solid option in Hawazar is Earthen Wound. It is a very good dungeon for experience, but unfortunately that's about all it excels in. This is just southwest of Zarbinzet, the waypoint right here, and because of that it's pretty quick to get to. And like I said, it's really good for XP, but not amazing for anything else. I also feel like I should mention both Earthen Wound and Blind Burrows take about 3.5 minutes or so to complete, which is why they're so good for experience. You can get in and out very quickly. Now, we are going to jump all the way up to Skazglin here, and we are here for Alderwood, which is another fantastic map for experience farming as well as glyph experience farming. This map is a very quick map in about 3.5 minutes as well, and works extremely well if you're just looking to farm experience, glyph experience with nightmare dungeons, or if you're running in a group. All of these things I would recommend doing at the same time if possible. It is a really good idea to run a nightmare dungeon with a group on this map. It's very fast, and it's very, very good experience compared to a lot of the other options. Are there other good dungeons? Of course there are. There's dozens of them in the game. I didn't name them all here. I just wanted to list a couple of them so you guys knew that a lot of these content creators are just capitalizing on the popularity of Diablo and don't actually know what the hell they're talking about. And the main reason that that pisses me off is because a lot of newer players are going to fall into this, and they're going to use one of these builds. It's going to be weak. It's going to fall off in the end game. And some of them will get bored and just quit the game because they think the game sucks. And the reality of it is that the build they followed sucks because the guy making it sucked. And while part of me respects their hustle in making videos, the bigger part of me is annoyed and pissed off because it fundamentally ruins the game for these newer players, and quite frankly, it's annoying to see all of the clickbait titles. So hopefully this helped in some capacity, and I look forward to seeing you guys in the next one. I have a couple Diablo 4 videos planned. I'm not sure what type of content I want to make and what topics I'll touch on, but hopefully you guys enjoyed. I appreciate y'all coming out. Hopefully I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Deuces.